Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, and we are going to talk about all of this in context to the future of Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm going to explain to you today how the future of Dungeons and Dragons and the future of the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe are exactly the same. They rely on the same two types of people. All right, so let's dig into this. All right, so Deadpool and Wolverine, 4 out of 5 star movie. I really liked it. The reason why I knock a star off of it is it shouldn't have been rated R. That was a mistake. But Deadpool and Wolverine is incredibly important in that it infuses life into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And actually, let me explain something right here. So you are listening to this on a different day than this was shot, right? So this is being shot on. This movie came out on Thursday. I saw it on Thursday, and then I didn't see it on Friday, and then I saw it again on Saturday. So this is after my second rewatch, and I don't know the box office yet. Okay, but I think that this movie is going to infuse a lot of life into Marvel and into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is regrettably at an all-time low, right? But this movie has the possibility of really putting it right back at the center where it needs to be. All right. So this movie is a great movie, not because it's a Deadpool movie, but because it's a Wolverine movie. And not because it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, actually, and it is an amazing movie because this is a Marvel Cinematic Universe Wolverine, which has been plucked from X-Men's history before the Marvel Cinematic Universe even existed, right? So all that junk before Kevin Feige started, none of it counts, right? But the archetype of Wolverine, the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, does count, right? Those movies were pure garbage. I have no interest in rewatching them. They were bad. They just, it was a mess, right? But it told us that live action comic books could be a thing, and the good stuff is being pulled. The wheat is being pulled from the dross, right? The gold is being pulled from the dross. The wheat is being pulled from the husk. Okay, and Wolverine is awesome, and Hugh Jackman is awesome. Just about every other thing in those X-Men movies was garbage, right? But the Marvel Cinematic Universe has just added Hugh Jackman's Wolverine fully into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they have also added Deadpool fully in, right? Now, what's interesting is the future of Marvel Cinematic Universe relies on two people, Deadpool and Wolverine. In the movie, okay, we are told who Deadpool is, and we are told who Hugh Jackman is, right? And they're very clear. They say, hey, and there's an amazing scene in A Honda Odyssey where Hugh Jackman and Deadpool finish the fight they started as soon as they arrived in the Void. It's brutal. It is incredibly deadly, right? Deadly is not the case because they regenerate, but it's dangerous. It is cinematic violence at its best. Period. I love Die Hard, but stabbing a guy 20 times with Wolverine's schnicks. That's it. That's peak cinematic violence. Period. I just that's not debatable in my humble opinion. All right, but Deadpool yammer, D-joke, some other SEX based joke, rated R, blah 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 blah. It was kind of boring. I think it was the over the top rated R jokes that were thrown in for let's get there. Wolverine says it. He says, "You are a ridiculous joke." And then he goes, he's like, "Nothing you say matters, nothing you do matters. You don't matter." right? Like, you suck. You're a ridiculous joke, right? But then, in another scene, actually, when they begin their first fight, or actually, yeah, when they begin their first fight, Deadpool says to Wolverine, he's like, "You're not an X-Man. You're the X-Man. You matter. You know how to save worlds, right?" And he's 100% right. And so this is the combined future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Dungeons and Dragons universe. So let me explain how we get there. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now reliant on a ridiculous joke. I don't really like Deadpool. I never liked this Deadpool. This garbage character was created by Rob Liefeld, a guy who can't even draw, let alone write, right? He's a bad character who is liked by millions of bad people, right? You'll hear my opinion here on Deadpool. I've said it for years. I don't think Deadpool's a great character. I think he really screwed up a lot of stuff in comic books, right? Wolverine, yeah. I care a lot about Wolverine. I care a lot about Logan. I care a lot about Xavier. I care a lot about Sage, right? The X-Men mean a lot to me, more than I could possibly express to you. They have meant a lot to me over the years, right? And Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is amazing. He's a true hero, okay? The Marvel Cinematic Universe future is now bound to a ridiculous joke, Deadpool, and a real hero, Logan Wolverine. Okay? Dungeons and Dragons is exactly the same. Its future is bound to the Goblin Chop, beer swilling, ridiculous joke dungeon master who gives the same stupid, tired, ridiculous advice every time. Well, all that matters is that everybody's having fun. The greatest achievement of any table is to have fun. Let's cut some goblins in half. A ridiculous joke. Nothing. Just like Deadpool, right? Well, actually, no. Let's not. It's not. That's not correct. Not nothing. A ridiculous joke. Not anybody who has high value, right? It's just these DMs are just ridiculous jokes. They say the same nonsense. It's just wind coming out of their mouth. Oh, as long as everybody's having fun, let me give you some advice, and then you can ignore it because whatever you do at your own table is your table, and if it works for me, might not work for you. They're just like absolute repetitive nonsense. Don't believe there's a right path. Don't believe there's a wrong path. Any kind of pablum you're going to serve up is good. As long as everybody's having fun. It's this a ridiculous joke dungeon master. And then there's real dungeon masters. I believe I'm one of the first. We run for purpose. We don't play Dungeons & Dragons. We do Dungeons & Dragons. We don't think Dungeons & Dragons is a game. We think Dungeons & Dragons. We don't think it's a toy. We think it's a tool. Right? We're not here to cut goblins in half. We're here to cut our own deficiencies in half. We believe that manifold sentience and that an infinite number and that, being able to run 300 to 300 different lives in this life is real power and allows us to do things that would be incredibly risky without these additional identities. We believe that Dungeons & Dragons can change the world, can change us, can change everybody at the table, and can change the world. Improve us, improve everybody at the table, improve everyone on the planet. Can transform us, can transform everybody at the table, can transform everybody in the world. We're the real deal. We're the real hero. We're the Logan Wolverine. But Dungeons & Dragons needs both, exactly like Marvel Cinematic Universe needed both. They could have brought in just Wolverine, but they didn't. It required that ridiculous joke, Deadpool, a worthless superhero character, close to worthless, not worthless, a ridiculous joke. That's the best way to say it. That ridiculous joke superhero, not a real superhero, to bring in a real superhero who can really do good. And we need them both. We needed that. We would not have gotten here. There's a chance that the MCU is going to be back on track and we get everything back. Real sequels, real superheroes, real mattering narratives, right? There's a good chance we're going to get it all back. And we have to thank that ridiculous joke Deadpool and the real hero Logan Wolverine. Dungeons and Dragons has a real future. It can really get there. How? With those ridiculous joke dungeon masters who say, as much as I despise saying it, we need them. We need their numbers. We need their dollars. We need them, right? And, and the world does think at this point that Dungeons and Dragons is a game, and they can understand these ridiculous joke DMs who are like, oh, let's got some goblins in the half as long as everybody's having fun, it matters. There's no wrong way to play D&D. Ridiculous jokes. Nothing they really don't like them. But we need them, and the future of Dungeons and Dragons requires them. And guess what? I know there's a lot of you out here that don't like my channel. You don't like hearing that Dungeons and Dragons is something more than you thought it was. That you are obligated to do something epic with this amazing tool. A lot of you don't like that. But guess what? I'm part of the future of the Dungeons and Dragons community as well. I am part of the community of Dungeons and Dragons as well. I'm the real dungeon master, and there are going to be tens or hundreds of me soon, right? So we need them both. We need the ridiculous joke, and we need the real hero, and we need it in the Marvel and Cinematic Universe, and we need it in Dungeons and Dragons as well, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, absolutely nothing less. What's important is when I hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.